I will start with Ma'am Rama Devi, who is an expert in AI. Across the global south, we have seen citizens taking to the streets, and online platform has really uh, been a platform where people express their frustrations and also try to advocate for issues to be addressed. For example, in Kenya, the recent rejection of the finance bill saw a lot of people going to platforms such as Twitter, um, WhatsApp messages, trying to mobilize and highlight the power of the collective action. So from this and the work that you are doing from Telengana State, kindly, while you also touch on issues of digital tools, how would you speak on how Telengana State is using digital tools, specifically AI, to empower marginalized groups to promote economic justice?
Well, thank you for having me here today. It's my privilege to be here to share our experiences in Telangana, how we are using digital technologies, more so emerging technologies to improve lives, to solve social problems. As Jeffrey has mentioned, citizen movements have been in place for quite some time. It's the order of the day in the sense, that's the only way it has been to amplify marginalized voices, to actually, bring biggest issues to the notice of the government. Citizen movements have started. But citizen movements, coupled with digital technologies, will amplify voices, bring in, policy changes within the government, ensure accountability by the governments. And these digital technologies are being used by many countries, especially in the global south. We have seen a few of them, like, in fact, uh, within India, like in 2021, farmers have used chatbot to actually, it's the biggest movement by farmers in India. They've used chatbot to actually, you know, send their messages out there, mobilize people, and finally the government had to roll back reforms based on the request of the farmers. That's one case in India. While, and we have seen in other countries as well, for example, Brazil, they use AI to actually analyze, budget spending by the government and see where anomalies are happening. Thirdly, we have seen the Me Too movement. As a woman, I was really impressed with that kind of movement, where stories came out, from different parts of the world by women, the harassment they face at workplace and so on. So these digital tools are being used to amplify, voices of the marginalized communities, to highlight issues, economic issues faced by different sections of the people and so on. But today, what I would like to share is how, the government of Telangana is using digital technologies to improve lives. Uh, why are these citizen movements happening? Why are these activists, taking out onto the streets to actually, because there is a problem that exists out there, it's affecting millions of people, marginalized communities, poor people, and so on. What if, you actually solve these problems? So then you don't have to have citizen movements, right? That's what we are doing in Telangana. We have set up a separate division called Emerging Technologies Division, way back in 2018. We call it the Industry 4.0. This is the fourth industrial revolution that is happening in the world after the three industrial revolution. And this is a tech revolution where, these new age digital technologies are actually being used by companies, governments across the world to solve problems. We thought, why don't we also focus on these technologies to see how we can solve problems in our communities, problems of our people, our citizens, and so on. So I'll share a few examples how we do it. We actually reach out to different departments. It could be an agriculture department, it could be health department, it could be, a department, social welfare department that transfer benefits to poor people, to understand, what are the problems that they're facing, where they're not able to deliver services to the citizens, to the marginalized groups. We understand, in technology, we call them as use cases, while in general terms, they're called problem statements. So what are the problems that they're facing in terms of delivering the service? So we identify those use cases, and then we see whether technology can be deployed to solve that problem. So to give you a couple of examples, like uh, for uh, agriculture is one of the largest profession. I mean, 60% of the population depend on agriculture, and most of the people who practice, who are in that occupation, are very, small holding land farmers. They own just 1 or 2 acres of land, and it's very difficult for them to make their both ends meet with the income that they generate from agriculture. That was the reason, the farmer protests were there earlier in the country. We thought, can we use technology to increase their income? Because they're not able to meet both their ends. Even there are certain cases of suicides also where farmers, because they're not able to earn enough money, they are in debt, and they're actually, committing suicide. So we actually, sat with the entire ecosystem in agriculture, with the foundations, with the industrialists, with the governments, with civil societies, and try to understand what are the top problems that the farmers are facing. So number one, certain problems we identified, top 5 or 10. For example, most of the farmers, while sowing seeds, they don't know what to sow. I mean, they just go by what they do, they have been doing for years without understanding the soil nutrition, without understanding the market prices, without understanding the weather conditions. So we are actually using AI to provide those advisories to farmer based on the demand, based on the weather conditions, what kind of plant they need to sow. And once they sow, most of the times, they also are not able to protect their plants from pest infection. So we use AI tools to advise them in advance. In fact, this particular AI tool that we use for cotton farmers has been appreciated by Google CEO, Mr. Sundar Pichai, when he was in India, 2 years back. So those are the kind of tools that we are developing and, advocating for farmers. And in fact, when we carried out the impact assessment, the farmers earn more than 20% of their income. So initially we started with 7,000. Now we have gone to about 50,000 farmers now. We are for one particular crop, where we deploying different technologies. That's one aspect where we are helping farmers. The second one is it's about women. We have called small self-help groups, very poor women, where government gives them loans to start their own businesses. So they actually use this money for the business and pay back the government at a very low interest rate. So, but these poor women, even though they do well in their business, they're not able to get loans from the banks. Because in order to get a loan in India, I'm sure it's elsewhere the same, they need to submit a collateral. Poor people, they do not have anything else to show as a collateral. So what we did was, we used blockchain technology to assess how that woman is actually, these women in that group are repaying, So we are developing a credit score. And the government is issuing this credit score to poor women. So once that credit score is issued, the banks can actually use that, look at, okay, she's repaying her loan well, I can issue a loan. So that's another solution that we have developed to address, the financial loans that women are not able to get. That's the second one. Third, there is we have what you call, chit funds. It's a financial instrument. It's a borrowing and saving instrument, where low-income group people, they put their money in that. It's a pot kind of thing. They put their money, and they just take it back after it accumulates after a couple of months. Most of the times, what's happening, a lot of scams happen in this. People just take away the companies, they put up that chit fund company, take away this money and run away, So we have implemented a blockchain solution that actually alerts the government official, the regulator, well in advance before such scam happens. So today we are able to save, so many thousands of people lives who have actually put in their money. So that's one. And a very interesting project that we are recently, the senior advocate was also talking about the driving test, right? Trust is the driving. This is a very typical example. We have in India, deaths due to road fatalities is the highest compared to US, China, any other country. It seems the record says every 3 minutes a person dies in India because of an accident. And these are young people who are dying, so on the roads, productivity, people who are going to be productive, who are going to add to the GDP, to the economic wealth of the country. So, so much enforcement has been done, so many laws are there, but nothing is able to prevent these accidents. So we thought, can we use technology to actually address this problem? So we actually installed AI devices on the road transport buses that actually alert drivers when an accident is about to happen, when he's overtaking, when he's fatigued, when he's just dozing off, alert comes in and tells the driver. So this, in fact, after the 6 months of setting up this, the accident rates have come down by about 40%. So, so these are we call it as population scale problems, using this AI has been used. So these are the kind of problems that we are solving using, technologies. So, it's like citizen movements happen because a problem, exists there. So our approach is, can the government proactively, identify problems before they are blown out or snowball into major controversies is what we do. So in this way, the last one that I want to say is again social benefits. Most of the benefits that the government actually gives to the people, they do not reach the last mile. So I'm not sure how many of you heard about Aadhaar. It's actually a unique ID given to every citizen, every resident of India. Earlier, there was no way to identify a person. Like for well-to-do people, we have bank accounts, we have addresses, but people living in slum areas, they do not have an ID of their own. This Aadhaar gives them a unique ID, and they're also advised to open a bank account. So whatever benefits that the government is now actually want to give it to the people, they directly transfer to the bank accounts. And in Telangana, we went one step ahead, and we are using one tool where we actually AI tool where we actually identify the right beneficiary, whether he or she is eligible for this benefit, and then we give those benefits to those people. So this actually plugs so many leakages, and it saves money to the exchequer. And most importantly, these benefits go to the right beneficiary. So that's what we have been doing. I'll pause here. Probably, yeah, a few more examples later I can share. Thank you.